For today's video, I do want to speak about the comparisons between Xavi's Barcelona and Hansi Flick's FC Barcelona. We are going to be comparing the first 15 match days. I believe that having a conversation like this is very important because we need to see if Hansi Flick's Barcelona is a improvement on top of Xavi Hernández's FC Barcelona. So let's go into the details. Xavi Hernández accumulated 34 points in the first 15 matches in La Liga, which is the same number as Hansi Flick right now, who has also reached 34 points. Keep in mind that in the 2022-2023 season with Xavi Hernández, he did reach 38 points in the first 15 matches of La Liga, meaning that Xavi Hernández's best season was in his first full season, and it also beats Hansi Flick's first full season. And so yes, Hansi Flick's numbers right now in his first 15 matches could have been much better because we did lose a lot of points in the last 3 match days, which was against Real Sociedad, Celta, and Las Palmas, which is only picking up 1 point in a possible of 9 points. But at the same time, we can also say that at the start of the season for Hansi Flick, it has been spectacular. It was amazing. It was dominant. We had 7 straight victories in the first 7 match days. So we were breaking records in some way when it comes to like goals and the victories. We had a 2-1 win against Valencia, a 2-1 win against Athletic Club, a 2-1 win against Rayo Vallecano, a 7-0 win against Valladolid, 4-1 win against Girona, 5-1 win against Villarreal, and a 1-0 win against Getafe. So Hansi Flick's Barcelona had the ups and downs, like with every manager. Now I believe that one of the most important things Hansi Flick is going to have to do moving away from here, right, after the past 15 matches is to be consistent, to be dominant, to up their level, to be focused, and to win more points, just to continue to win. Because if you look at Xavi Hernández's record after those first 15 matches, his team went down in the 2023-2024 season. We lost points against Girona, right? We lost 2-4 at our own stadium. I know that we're not talking about the Champions League, but in the Champions League, we lost against Antwerp 3-2, and then we went back to La Liga against Valencia. We lost more points by tying 1-1. Barcelona barely won against Almeria 3-2, and then once again, I know that we're not talking about the Copa del Rey, and we are talking about La Liga, but we lost against Athletic Club 4-2, and that translated towards our next match in La Liga, losing against Villarreal 5-3 at our own home, and then a couple of weeks later against Granada, we tied against them at our own home yet again 3-3. So Barcelona fell off tremendously after the first 15 matches in La Liga, and this is going to be something that Hansi Flick is going to have to look out for because we don't want these players to drop their level, lower their intensity, and think that everything's going to be okay, but only to find out that there's teams beating us at all levels. But overall, when you compare Xavi's second season and Hansi Flick's first season, they're very similar. They also do share comparable goal difference stats. Hansi Flick's team has scored 43 goals and conceded 16 times in the first 15 matches, while Xavi Hernández's team scored only 28 goals but conceded 14 times. So you can see that Hansi Flick's Barcelona scored way more goals than Xavi Hernández's FC Barcelona from last season. Xavi's Barcelona were better defensively just by a little, but in terms of the attack, we are improving much more. And I think that because of this, it is what led towards Barcelona going to the top of the table, because around this time, Xavi Hernández's Barcelona were in 3rd place. Right now, Barcelona is in 1st place with 34 points, but the only difference is that the reason why we were in 3rd place last season was because Real Madrid and Girona were doing very well. They both had 38 points. Lucky for us, with Madrid and Girona not being at the same level that they were last season, we have been able to go on top of the table. As we can also see here on the graph, this is going to be the expected goals, which is going to be green, and the actual goals in purple. This is comparing Xavi's 2023-2024 season in total and Hansi Flick's current season. Barcelona's expected goal rate and goal rate is so much higher than Xavi Hernández's. And once again, that is what allows us to go over Real Madrid and other top teams in La Liga so far. Keep in mind that Xavi Hernández's first full season back in 2022 and 2023 is still his best season no matter what, because on that season, we were standing on 38 points, tied with Real Madrid, and had a record of 35 goals and 14 goals conceded. I honestly believe that the weakest season that we have had in the past 3 years was Xavi's second season. But with that being said, right, going on to the European competitions, I believe that Flick has shown himself to be much more effective than Xavi Hernández, because Hansi Flick's Barcelona has already brought 4 wins and only 1 loss, and we are 3rd in the table, beating many of the other European competitors, and we're 21 places higher than Real Madrid. Xavi Hernández's Barcelona really did suffer in European competitions, conceding a lot of goals, not scoring much, but I believe that this is where Hansi Flick has the upper hand, which ultimately makes me believe that Hansi Flick, yes, from a objective point of view, we are having a better season right now than what Xavi Hernández brought us back in the 2023-2024 season. Now we're going to go into the details on why that's the case. Like, why is Hansi Flick's Barcelona better, right? So we have to go into context. I believe that Flick's Barcelona does require more time to master more complex, more nuanced tactical approaches that requires higher rhythm and a riskier attack compared to Xavi Hernandez's style, because Xavi Hernandez's style was much more conservative and more afraid of losing the ball. With Hansi Flick's Barcelona, that has not been the case. They're not afraid to lose the ball, and they're willing to risk it all just to score as many goals as possible, which translated towards success to European competitions and La Liga. Here's also going to be another graph comparing Barcelona so far with the 2023-2024 season Barcelona. And you can see here, right, it's kind of strange, and I'm going to be explaining what this all means. In terms of pressing, Xavi's Barca and Hansi Flick's Barcelona are very much the same. They're the same. You would assume that, oh, I thought that Hansi Flick's Barcelona was more aggressive, more intense, and winning the ball much more. No, it's the exact same thing. The difference is what happens when Barcelona win the ball back from that pressing. When Hansi Flick's Barcelona wins the ball back from that pressing, we go on the counter, and we counter very aggressively and extremely vertical, much more vertical than Xavi Hernandez's Barcelona. If you look at the red, right, which is the 2023-2024 version, you can see on the counters on the left side of this graph, they are much lower than Hansi Flick's Barcelona, way lower. And that is because when Xavi Hernandez's Barcelona won the ball back, they did not counterattack as much. If anything, they were trying to pass the ball sideways, recycle the ball, pass the ball back. They were way more calm because Xavi Hernandez was very strict about losing the ball, and he's like, okay, calma, let's relax, let's not try to counter with the ball as fast as possible. We don't want to risk it. We cannot lose possession of the ball because we love possession. And that is why Xavi Hernandez's team overall last season did not score as much. So that is why you see Xavi Hernandez's Barcelona very even with Hansi Flick's Barcelona in terms of pressing, physicality, and defending. It is the exact same thing. We never lost the focus, the intensity, the aggression. It's just that what do we do with the ball after we regain it back? Hansi Flick's Barcelona is a massive improvement. And once again, in order for us to counterattack effectively, it's very, I would say, complex, nuanced. These players have to learn how to attack like this. All of this is new to players like Pedri, Rafinha, Lamine Yamal, Lewandowski, etc. And so in order for us to be successful with this type of football that we are playing under Hansi, we need to maintain consistent concentration, motivation. We especially needed that against Las Palmas, Celta, and Real Sociedad, but we did fail in some circumstances, which is why we dropped points and there was an overall drop of performance. So it's important for us to develop players like Pedri, Xavi, and Rafinha, players who are able to give us better counterattacking opportunities, because Pedri is the one that can fast forward the play. Rafinha is the one that can make those runs through the middle. Xavi is the one that can dribble the ball down the left flank or the right flank and to create 1-2 scenarios with either Lewandowski or Lamine Yamal and other players. They are very crucial to the match rhythm, the association, and it's very similar to how Barcelona approached the counterattacks when they had Messi, Neymar, and Luis Suarez. Pedri, Xavi, and Rafinha have to do the exact same thing. Even though they're not at the level of Neymar, Suarez, and Messi, they have the style and capacity to do so. I believe that it's also very important for us, right, to address the team's psychological issues, the motivation, the concentration. This is much more critical than the physical fatigue of the players. I know that we have talked about how these players are tired, that they run so much. The majority of the reason why we drop in intensity is because of these psychological issues. We need to up our level. Also, because Hansi Flick's playing style is high risk, high reward, our defense does seem vulnerable at times. This is the reason why, right, like when we are 100% focused, we can have any player or any team go offside. When they are on their A game, we are amazing. But the moment we drop just one level below in terms of concentration, we do make a lot of mistakes. So the defensive adaptation has to be much better. With Xavi Hernandez's Barcelona last season, it did not even require as much concentration because we were never high risk. So right now, our defensive strategy needs to evolve much more to complement the new high risk attacking style implemented by Flick. For example, look at the game against Las Palmas here. You can see, right, and this happened very recently, you can see that the players are pressing up very high because they want to win the ball back, go on the counter, and score as fast as possible. Las Palmas were dealing with the pressure tremendously well. As you can see here, there is a player behind Barcelona's midfield line that is wide open. One of the center backs of Las Palmas made a pass it towards one of the midfielders, and then pass it towards that attacking midfielder that was above the midfield line of Barcelona. And that is what led towards that player receiving the ball. And then all of a sudden, Las Palmas found themselves in a 3 versus 2 situation with only Inigo Martinez and Cubarsí at the back. That's very dangerous. Barcelona cannot get caught like that. And the reason why Barcelona were caught like that is because they failed to find who was open from Las Palmas. And it was that player that was seen as like the number 10 or the number 8 above the midfield line. Las Palmas tackled Barcelona perfectly because of Barcelona's high risk, high reward game. And so yes, Hansi Flick's Barcelona right now, it is an improvement on top of what we saw last season with Xavi Hernández. The best season overall though in the past 3 years has been the 2022-2023 season. But I believe if Hansi Flick can fix the defensive vulnerabilities that we have right now, for sure this Barcelona team overall can be much better than Xavi's first season back in 2022. Way better. Because first of all, we have better quality, which is coming through Casado, through Xavi, through Pedri, through Lamine Yamal, through Rafinha, through Lewandowski, Koundé, Alejandro Balde. We have much better quality, and we also do have the depth and the motivation to do much better. I'm confident that Hansi Flick can turn this team around and start winning and accumulating as many points as possible and take us towards, hopefully, European success later down the road. And so that is it. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.